Bitcoin spot ETF approval and the three catalysts that I see. Let's first off talk about the halving and then what I think, unfortunately, is going to happen with the spot ETF approval. So the first catalyst is the halving. Bitcoin moves in a 4-year cycle. People always buy the top, it drops, they forget about it. They buy the top, it drops, they forget about it. We have articles coming out talking about how it's over and it's never going to do it again, and it always does. Just inverse that. You people ever think about learning the cycle of it? It's not like the stock market where it just runs up and then has drops and runs up. It's not like that. It's completely different. And we had the halving of 2012 somewhere in 2012 and a massive pop. You can't really see it here. And it had a ferocious run up, having a 2016 and we ripped into 2017, having a 2020, we ripped into 2020 and 2021. That was a great exit opportunity, by the way, over here, guys. And now we have another halving. If Bitcoin ends up going past $100,000, this high is going to look like this high. The chart's skewed. This high right here used to look like this one, right? But the chart's skewed. On TrendSpider, there's a way to elongate your charts and change that. But regardless, that's catalyst number one. So with the halving, miners have to sell Bitcoin to cover electricity costs. People say Bitcoin's not backed by anything, right? Because things have to have labor to back it, unlike the US dollar, where their money's in the dollar. Crazy, right? Hypocritical. So yeah, there's some labor back behind the dollar, but in general, no. So there is electricity costs, and these miners are selling Bitcoin to cover the electricity costs. That's equaling around $1 billion a month in selling. So that's going to get cut in half, on top of everyone flooding in it, on top of if the Bitcoin spot ETF approval happens. We're going to get to that. I'm getting off topic here. So that's the first catalyst that's happening in April. Does it just rip right then and then pull back? No, that's not how it works. It's not a news event where it's like having happened, we shoot up, we come down. No, it runs for like a year, and it has every single time. It's ran for quite a while. Here, here, and here, right? May of 2020. We ran all the way, look at us, April, May, ran for just about 11 months there. Overall, it was up again in October of that year, so over a year. But a solid run, you know, you got 9 to 10 solid months out of it. So if I were to be buying, imagine if there's people that are buying and selling right here when the halving comes out. Multiple people talking about that. Imagine if you sold it right there. You bought it here or here, and then you sold here. Oh my gosh. What I'm going to do is trim 1/20ths. Take a little off, take a little off, take a little off, take a little off. It tanks, hey, I'm still up, right? Take it off all the way. I mean, even if I bought it right here at 10,000, I sold at 37, I'm doing fairly well. So that's the first catalyst, the halving. Less is dumped onto the market, less is being sold. Supply and demand. That's the first catalyst. The other one we have here is the spot ETF approval. This is the one that's coming up the earliest. Couple days, like 10 days. So we can assume about a week to 2 weeks. It can get pushed out to March. Okay? If it does, then Bitcoin could tick up because it's running on that anticipation. Technical analysis, 1, 2, 3 reversal. I have a script identifying the 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern, like here. 1, 2, 3 reversal. 1, 2, 3 reversal. 1, 2, 3 reversal. Right? I love playing the 1, 2, 3 reversals. Great patterns. I like taking on high volume breakouts. That's one right there. And I believe when they release this, if they approve the spot ETF, it's going to tank. And everyone's going to forget about it. Not realizing retail investors that don't have Vanguard, Schwab, and Fidelity that are waiting, right? Us guys buying it on Coinbase, on Binance, on Crypto.com, eToro, whatever you're using, cold storage, whatever. If you're storing it cold, if you have it on a whatever, exchange, through exchanges. Then you have those guys that are on Schwab, that are on Fidelity, Vanguard, all that are waiting for a spot ETF, those retail investors. You have the bottom retail investors, the degenerate young people, Gen Z, millennials. Then you have the older folks that don't know how to get in all that and mess with those apps. It's smart, right? throwing your money on a broker offshore is very sketchy, especially if it's a lot. Look what happened to FTX and many other brokers. And the lending ones, oh my gosh. The one I called survived, Nexo. Then you have institutions waiting for that spot ETF. Think about it from a business. You really want to, if you're let's say you're an institution, you've got $1 billion you want to put in. Are you going to really throw it on some like offshore broker? You know, register in the Cayman Islands? That's kind of sketchy. And it's a little bit, it's very reckless to do with the company's money or institution's money. If you can buy it on Vanguard and you have a company account, or the institution has an account and it's safe there and it's insured, SPIC insured, right? Then that's a different story. So there's those institutions waiting. Then you have governments ready to throw their money in. Have you heard what the Saudis said? Or Qatar? How much they're willing to put in and how much they're waiting to put in? That is a lot of money, guys. What is it, 5 trillion? Don't quote me on that. And money sitting in money markets right now. Some of that could be allocated to Bitcoin and crypto, Bitcoin and Ethereum. So again, us guys at the bottom, let me finish the last catalyst here. The last catalyst is going to be this before I go on to what I see in the inflow into Bitcoin and the market cap. Last catalyst is interest rate cuts. This could tank the market. When they cut interest rates when the market's high, every time we've dropped. When they've cut it when we're low, not all the time, but you know, COVID is a different example. The economy was fantastic at the time, and they were doing other things to prop everything up. But overall, a weaker dollar, Bitcoin does run inverse of the dollar. Outside of the halving, it's running inverse of the dollar. So for the most part, it does break away at times, but the dollar does affect Bitcoin big time. So a weaker dollar equals stronger metals, bonds, Bitcoin. That could tank the stock market. Bitcoin could go with it, but I believe it to be artificially down. And when the market recovers, if it does, if let's say a ferocious crash happened, I think Bitcoin would just be a setup launching pad. I personally would be. I'm going to be adding when and if that happens. And again, I'm expecting a big pullback here. So again, the retail investors at the very bottom going through exchanges. Then we have retail investors who have money sitting on the lines and money market accounts and the big boy accounts waiting for a spot ETF. Then we have institutions. Then we have governments. Then we also have countries accepting Bitcoin as legal tender. So that are talking about that. Now, Argentina being one, Russia wanting to approve Bitcoin for business transactions. And I think that this is just the start of it. This could potentially quadruple the market cap, easily double, and potentially quadruple the market cap of Bitcoin and could send the price surging. Do I think it's going to happen in a week? No. I think we're going to drop, honestly, in the short term, and I think we're going to drop on the spot ETF approval. We could have a spike up with a drop. It's going to shake the weak hands out, and we could potentially drop in 2024 before the halving. We could potentially drop a little bit after it. It could be a scenario where Bitcoin breaks away from the market and just rips, right? I believe that's what's going to happen with bonds and metals because they're going to run inverse of rates. They're not a company. They can't go bankrupt, which is why I'm heavy there. But that's a scenario. Those are a couple scenarios that can happen. Scenario number 1, spot ETF approval. 1, 2, 3, reversal technical analysis on top of fundamental says we're going to drop and possibly chop around whatever until the halving comes. Scenario number 2 is I still think we're going to drop in both scenarios. We're going to drop. And when the Bitcoin halving comes, we're going to just run up into that. Scenario number 3 is we're going to drop, I believe in all 3 scenarios, on the spot ETF approval. And if there is a recession and the stock market plummets in 2024, Bitcoin goes with it. And when things rebound, I think Bitcoin could be a launching pad. I do see way higher than all-time highs. Way, way higher. So in reality, I think we have 4 catalysts here. Number 1, again, we're going to wrap this video up. The spot ETF approval. Number 2, the halving. The spot ETF approval equals money flying into Bitcoin, which can increase the market cap, opening the door for everyone to get in. Okay? The spot ETF approval, Bitcoin halving, lower dollar, countries accepting Bitcoin as legal tender. 4 in my opinion. So, and regardless, has it ever not gone with a halving? I can't remember the price over here. I wonder if I can zoom. There's a way to do this to zoom in. Yeah. I don't really use TradingView. So there we go. Let's dive into, I hate these ads over here. So we were at like $12, $10, and we shot up to $1,200. I think this was the first, I'm pretty sure this was the first halving. I'm not positive. Pretty sure it was. And the guy who programmed this is just smart, programming the halvings right around elections where whoever's in, they want the market to go, the interest rates right, and they just timed it perfectly. The programming behind Bitcoin is astonishing. It's outstanding. It's shocking how good it is. So this could be a wild ride coming up here. A wild ride. So if you guys like this content, please make sure to like and follow for more. Before I get off here, I'm going to toy around with some TA over here. Let's just take a look at this. This could be a possible scenario, right? At some point coming down into this range to 34. That's not bad. I'm still green. I was adding over here, and the alts would really have to get smashed, but keep your eyes peeled for us coming down to this range. Would definitely not like it to be violent. Even if it was, we would bounce, in my opinion, off that trend line. 31's still great. It's not bad at all. I highly doubt it would be slow. That's going into October. That's not going to happen, in my opinion. But this could be a likely scenario. Chop around into there. Again, you guys like this content, make sure to like and follow for more. If you have any questions for me or would like me to do a video for you, you want to join our community, the link will be in the bio below.